You know, it's funny. Today I found this Coors Light beer can again. This was my wife's last beer, and we found it actually after she passed away. She passed away 4.5 years ago, and we moved from that house about 10 months after she passed away. And when we started moving furniture and things and couches, and it was amazing how many cans and bottles and things that we found behind things, behind books in the bookshelf, underneath the couch, underneath the bed. There was like 50 empty cans like this. And you might say, what did it smell? I mean, I think she might have put water in it and cleaned it out and just found a way to put them, someplace to put them. And it's really a pretty good example of some of the red flags of why people drink. And it's an important thing to realize that when they are hiding their bottles and cans, it's a good indication that there's a much deeper issue going on, because they don't want the people in their life, in their family, to realize the incredible volume that they're intaking. And then you might say, why don't they just throw them in the garbage? Well, because if you're drinking 12, 15, 20, 30 of these a day, and my wife was drinking 25 or 30 of these a day near the end, I discovered later, you can't just throw those in the garbage. I mean, that's hundreds of cans a week, literally. And you can't just crush them up and throw them away. Someone's going to go, what's going on? And it also makes a lot of noise clinking around, especially when your husband's the one who throws the garbage out. So it's a good indication. I'm going to talk about some other red flags as we continue the conversation. And it's funny, this particular can really brings up a lot of memories, because I found this in her nightstand after she had passed away, and it was the only one that wasn't opened. I mean, one can. And I later opened it on the anniversary of her passing. It was a way, just for me to kind of, remember her at the time. I mean, if you find that strange, that's okay. That's what I did. And the can really represents my son. We were talking about actually putting this in acrylic. It's just kind of a memory of something that the two of us shared and got through. Really more of a private thing. If that doesn't make sense, again, that's okay. Now, some of the other red flags that are important to realize, and the most obvious one is drinking in isolation. So if you have a loved one who is doing that, they're drinking by themselves, they're drinking alone in their bedroom, in their car, or they're just hiding it. Maybe they have a water bottle and you think it's water and it's a cup full of vodka. Those types of things. And if you're starting to become aware of that, their behavior, their appearance looks different, and you just can't put your thumb on it, this is a time to step up and have that conversation. Like, I think you have a problem. We need to talk about it. Why are you drinking so much? What's the origin to this? And maybe it's time to start working on yourself, and we need to take this particular problem in a different direction before it gets any worse. And one of the things that's so important is for family members, and this is really all they can do, is detection earlier on. And if they have the knowledge of what they're actually detecting and understanding, because I didn't know, because if you don't grow up in a world of alcoholism like I did not, you don't really understand it. I thought it was part of her family culture, which it was. I mean, she grew up in a world where drinking wine with dinner was normal, so I didn't really know if I should question that or not, because I really didn't really have a grasp. Later on, it just became very obvious because of the volume that she was consuming. But unfortunately, if you don't know, you don't know. This is a large part of why I make these videos, is to educate families, because you're the front line. A lot of times you're the ones who are the closest to the alcoholic, and if you can step in and have those kind of conversations, you can prevent potentially years and decades of turmoil, toxicity, frustration, and a road that I wouldn't, the road to alcohol use disorder is a road that I wouldn't want for anybody to have to go through. And really the last major red flag you want to look out is if they don't have the ability to have an off switch. In other words, they don't know how to self-regulate their alcohol intake. They go to a family event or a business event and they drink until they pass out. They go to a bar and it's like they have carte blanche. Or if it's vacation, it's like, oh, I can drink until I pass out. They may not do that consciously, but that's what's happening. It's like they've been given the red light and they've been given the green light, and they don't have a yellow light or a red light. It's just all green. And if you see that happening and you recognize it in a friend or a relative, that's a major red flag, because binge drinking is the most dangerous type of alcohol intake. When you take huge volumes of alcohol in a short period of time, it raises the alcohol content in your blood level, and you can have a heart attack, a stroke, all kinds of not very good things can happen. So it's important to be aware of these type of situations. And again, I hope the symbol of my wife's last can that she didn't drink, the only one that got away, is an important symbol for you to take action with your loved ones. And if this doesn't apply to you, then just keep scrolling. But if it does, you understand what I'm talking about. So again, I go live Monday through Friday, again, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We also have the Facebook group. It's called There's an Alcoholic in the Family, if you want more context to your questions. A lot of times when we go live, we need a little bit more context, and it's a safe place, and everybody in there is an alcoholic or has a family member who is. And when you're ready to work with me one-on-one, click on the link above. Schedule a breakthrough call. I've helped thousands of alcoholics and their families because it's a family disease. Again, it takes about 45 minutes to an hour. Do a deep dive into what's going on with you. The call is free. The program not so much, but I'm looking for people who want to change their lives and the lives of their family. And again, thanks so much for listening.